I'm probably late. I am late. I'm always late. You guys should expect this by now. I'm late. We'll wait for everybody to get here, or for some people to get here, or for some people to not get here, or for nobody to get here. Whatever the deal is. You know, we will wait. Well, I will wait. There's no we. There's no we here. See if I got my glasses on good. Yep. See if I can find people. Let's see if I can pull this up. There we go. Seeing people. Come in. There's somebody. Sama, hi. I'm trying to get this together. I'm trying to get it together. Let's see. Oh, man. There we go. Now people are showing up. Now, yeah, people are coming in. Trying to get the chat up where I can see it. Where I can see it. Let's see. There we go. Maybe. I don't know. All right. Say something. Somebody say something. Somebody chat something. Live chat. There we go. Hey. There's Sarah. There's Mama T. There's Andrea. There's Felicia. She said something. There's always on time. Always on time. I'm really trying my best to pull this chat up from so I can read, because I can't read. I just can't. I do have my eyelashes on today. They're in the way. They're in the way. They're actually driving me nuts. Okay, here we go. Live chat. Haha, found it. Found it. Making dinner and watching you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm interrupting your dinner making. Hi, Shauna. Hi, Sarah. So, oh my gosh, have we been busy here? And Lee went live a little bit earlier, I'm assuming. I saw it. I was visiting my new grandson in the hospital. I have a new grandson. He was born on Thursday. He was born just a little early, so he's going to have to stay in the hospital for a little bit. But, yeah, he's 6 pounds and an ounce, and he's doing amazing, and he's already eaten all on his own, and he's doing good. So, I'm excited for him to come home, but in the meantime, Grandma has to go to the hospital every day and see him. It's a fun thing to do. So, I have a little cold, so I'm going to be hacking a little bit. But I'm doing my best to just keep eating these ice chips. And keeping the water down. Trying to stay hydrated. It's real wheezy in my chest, so other than that, I'm fine. Feeling good. I'm a little on the tired side just from the events of the weekend, and I had to postpone my Easter dinner that I was going to have yesterday, and with family. And I think I have my shirt on inside out. No, it's fine. And we're going to do that next Sunday, because, you know, the baby making his arrival and going up and back and forth to the hospital is kind of important. That's what I want to do. So, how is everybody? And what is, you know what? I was curious to find out what it is that collectively people are going through. A lot of times when we get in this dynamic, we realize that a lot of us are going through the same things at the same time, but we don't connect it. We don't put it together. And we should probably start doing that a little bit more, because we realize that we have other people that are going through the same things. And we can talk and communicate and figure it the heck out. Lots of people splitting these days is a big one, Sarah. It's happening way more than I would like to see. Especially when it comes to this dynamic. And a lot of people find it just too hard, too rocky, too toxic of a journey. I guess they want to say that it's toxic, but I'm not sure that it's toxic. I just know that it's uncomfortable a lot of times. It's a rocky road, but the connection will guide you through it when it starts to get harder. And it's amazing. It's amazing that the easier way out is to walk away. And sometimes you will hear me say, you gotta go. On purpose. Because sometimes you gotta go. Sometimes you've gotta go. Sometimes you've gotta move on. Sometimes you've gotta take matters into your own hands and listen to yourself and listen to the universe sometimes. All the time. But we tend to like to pick and choose. He said, Lord, I hope you ain't going through what I am. Oh no. Oh no. See what happened? I'm trying to wrap my head around my girlfriend's connection to my twin flame. I'm forced to evolve, but third-party jealousy. At the same time, I feel the 5D connection strong for sure. So, your girlfriend's connection with your twin flame. Wouldn't it only make sense that the people you're connected to are going to be connected to one another, just in a different way? Just like when we have brothers and sisters, we're connected to them, but we're not connected to them in the way that we're connected to our twin flame, necessarily. But like energy finds like energy. So, it very much is it's a wonderful thing to see that. I would think that your best friend or your girlfriend, maybe we should clarify that, because I don't know if it's a girlfriend or a girlfriend. Clarify that for me real quick. That'll help. Let's see. I finally remembered to be able to find your live. So happy to be here. Hi, Lynette. Thanks for finding me. And if I could keep this going, I would know how to read the chat. But I'm part of a narcissistic abuse support group on Facebook. That's what we say whenever someone posts. You gotta go, girl. You gotta go. So many people confuse twin flame with narcissist. This is true. This is true. This is very true. I believe that words come out of my mouth until I really read the definition of it. And if you really find the true definition of narcissism, there's a difference there. And I had to learn that the hard way with Lee, right? Man, did I accuse him of being a narcissist way more than I should have. And at one point in time, I thought that he might just be. When we wrap our head around the thought of someone being a narcissist, our brain wants to go there all the time. Everything he did after I labeled him was narcissistic behavior. And it really wasn't. He was trying to come in a roundabout way to somebody who felt who I felt I was unlovable at the time. And so it was really hard. So so much sense. Like, we definitely like the same people and friends, or even otherwise. I'm bi and used to be into her, but now she's just my sister. Okay, cool. That makes sense. Congrats, Sherry, on the grandbaby. Thank you. Lowest financial place I've ever been in and about to receive. And phone is shutting off tomorrow. Humble pie. Connect to self and source further, I suppose. For sure. Looks like a narcissist feels like an empath. Funny thing, I paid a psychic to draw my soulmate for a laugh, and they drew the guy that did surgery on my leg. It's not romantic, but somehow you get aligned with connected people who keep you safe. That is so true. Interesting, very interesting. What makes you guys stand out in my book? I kind of want to I kind of want to touch on the narcissist thing a little bit further. I feel like we're so quick to label, and we're so quick to judge. As human beings, we just are. It's in our nature. And when somebody makes a move that's seemingly narcissistic, one, we label them, and everything they do, we can connect to being a narcissist. And I did it with Lee, and I wish I wouldn't have, because it took me a while to get out of that sort of mindset. Honestly, it was a mindset, and it wasn't a soul set. A lot of times I analogize that as sunrise and sunset, right? It wasn't a soul set, so it didn't feel right to me. It didn't feel right, so I stopped that. Every now and then I might pull it back up. I'm not gonna lie. Hi Sherry, things with my DM got cut in 3D back in 2017. Yet today it keeps hitting me up energetically. He drains the hell out of me, and now I'm dealing with his health problems. All right, we're gonna answer that, but I've been sucking on peppermint all day too. I want to answer this Ruta's question. So things with your DM got cut in 2017. Explain the cut. Did you do it like a cord cutting thing? Because we all know my opinion on that. But so he's draining you energetically. Why are you letting him do that? Why are you allowing him to drain you energetically? That's a big question. You got to stop doing that. And so you're dealing with his health problems. Are you financially supporting him? I'm curious about that. Answer that, and then we'll I promise we're gonna finish talking about your issue, Ruta. Sherry, do you work with psychics at all? I do have a bunch of friends who are psychics. I have a really weird belief system, and I call it weird because it's mine. I do not believe that a psychic can tell your future. I believe if that's true, we'd all win the lottery. I don't believe a psychic can tell me what's going to happen to me. Only I can decide that. I do not work with psychics, I guess. I have a strong psychic friend base. And it's basically intuition based. So if I'm with a psychic friend and they say, let's not go in there, I'm not going to go in there. I'm going to trust them, because that's their gift. I could hear voices of a family member and talk to them, and that's my gift, right? I don't judge anybody's gifts. I don't not believe. I just know what I believe. And it's a hard time for people to believe that other people can hear spirit. It's hard for other people to believe that we can talk to people who have passed, but we can. And so yeah, I do have a lot of psychic friends, but I don't work with them, I guess I should say, like on an energetic level. Oh man, I've hit peppermint, I've hit everything. Let me tell you, girl, this cough's a mess. Somehow you must have known there was more than the narcissist aspect. What was it? It was connection. It was the connection that I felt, that I knew things weren't as my mind was telling me they were. I knew in my soul what my mind was telling me he was is a lie. I knew that it's not what I was feeling, that I was listening to my mind and not listening to my soul. And once I started listening to my soul, and don't think that I don't ever go back to listening to my mind, because I do. I'll have a party in there sometimes. Go to the carnival, we'll have a committee meeting. We have multiple committee meetings a day up in here, right? I am the CEO, the CFO, and the hot mess of listening to my head. But I know when I listen to my soul and they tell me that um, my soul tells me that what I'm feeling is correct, and I knew that he wasn't a narcissist. And look, does he have some narcissistic behavior? Don't we all? We all do. I'll admit to it. I have narcissistic behavior. We kind of all do. We're human beings. Excuse me. As long as we don't keep repeating and repeating and repeating, you know. That was it. It was definitely the connection, for sure. Salma saying, like, is acting a little selfish a narcissism? It's narcissistic behavior. But we do it, and we should. We should love ourselves, and we should do things for ourselves. I know I felt entitled to his love and affection even when he was uncomfortable and viewed him as selfish. So a lot of times I'll call Lee a narcissist under my breath. Lee'll look for any excuse to drive his car. I don't have a problem with him driving his car. I don't. But it's that little inkling of, why don't you just drive your car? Why do I feel like you're getting antsy because it's rained? He won't drive his car in the rain. And he keeps that piece of equipment meticulous. He spends time in it when it's not running, when it's just sitting in the garage. He'll go out, he'll clean it out, he'll wipe it off. He really takes good care of that car. There's a part of me that is jealous. There's a part of me that looks at him like, why in the hell are you loving on that material item so much? Narcissist, right? Run away. Like, he'll look for any excuse, and he doesn't need an excuse to drive his car. Just get in and drive it, go, right? But for some reason, there's a behavior there that in me, not in him, but in me, that's like, what are you doing? I get in the truck, I start it up, and I go. I'm not spending time in the truck when I'm not driving it. I don't care if it's got some salt or some raindrops on it or a leaf or two. I don't care. But once I do that, my brain will keep on piling on the labels. They'll keep on saying, well, that's narcissistic and that's narcissistic and the way he did this was narcissistic, and before you know it, he's a full-blown narcissist. It's crazy. It's crazy. I think selfishness is important. I believe we all should take some time and be selfish. I take time every other night, at least. Sometimes it's every night, but at least every other night, unless we're traveling, I will take the best hot bubble bath with all kinds of salts and fragrances and scrubs and candles and music and you name it, I got it. And I, in the beginning, felt selfish, like I'm taking time away. I'm up here for 2 hours, and I love it. I love my bath time, and I don't feel like it's selfish. Self-care. Remember that? It's so much better, but I'm now broke the nail. I get my nails done. I get my lashes done. It's material stuff. It's all vanity, right? But it's me. It's self-care. I love it. And it makes me feel good, and it makes me feel better about myself. So I think a little selfishness is due to all of us. We all need a little bit more time being selfish. He discarded you. So he just kind of ran. Vicks Vapor Rub does help, Sarah, at night. I've been taking, I don't like to take the over-the-counter medications. I like to try to keep it on an herbal aspect, but it's kind of hard. I'm not a tea drinker. I don't like to drink tea. But I need to stay hydrated, so I'll chew on a bunch of ice. I love ice. I need to know, Ruda, is he, did he just up and take off? And do you have any communication? No financial support. I'm married to another man. Okay. Let's stop for 2 seconds, Ruda. 2 seconds. When's the last time you had any conversation with him? And did you know twin before husband, or did you know husband before twin? Curious. So interesting. It is, Sarah, the whole psychic thing is that, ooh, my ears are ringing. The whole psychic thing is, it's interesting to me. I just, I don't know. I guess the ones who will say, you're going to find your twin flame, get married and have 12 babies. One of my twin flames married to somebody else. There can be so many different hiccups in that, so many different things. And then before you know it, you've got somebody 15 years down the line waiting for somebody that is toxic for them because a psychic told them that it was going to happen. It happens. It happens a lot. Sad to see. Not that I don't believe in psychics. I do. I just believe in a different way, I guess. They read energy, and energy is always shifting according to your beliefs and thoughts. Very true, Salma. I've tried to go on, but he stalks me. Online, physically, energetically. I want to know how to get him to stop. I don't want this to happen anymore. This isn't going to be very good news, Ruda. I'm sorry. I just like to keep it all the way real. I don't want to send you down a rabbit hole of untruth, and I don't want to lie to you and tell you that if you cut the cord, it's going to go away. If you do this ceremony, it's going to go away. If you do all this, you're not going to have that anymore. It's simply not true. If it is in fact that you are connected to him, you're always going to be connected to him in every way, shape, or form. You're going to feel him energetically. You're going to feel him physically. You're going to feel him mentally. You're going to feel him in you. You're going to lay down and close your eyes, and you're going to feel him for the rest of your life, no matter what. That doesn't mean it's a bad thing. I use that for good. I use that to be connected to him always, even when I was with somebody else. I had him right here with me. That's a good thing. So the fact that you're feeling him energetically, that's a good thing. Instead of making it a negative feeling, turn it into a positive feeling. Oh, there you are. Oh, there you are. I've missed you. There you are. Talk to him. You know, ask him to slow down. Say, can you give me a break for a little bit? Energetically, ask him to do that. Do you believe that everyone has a twin flame or only a chosen few? I believe we're all connected to somebody in some things. I believe everybody has multiple soulmates. However, the twin flame connection is very rare, and it's very real. But yes, I believe that everyone has one. I just believe that finding that connection is rare. And I think it's amazing that we've all got a community to congregate in, right? we've all got a community to congregate in where there's like energies and like-minded people. So I think that the fact that we could have a group with 3 or 4 or 500,000 people in it is just a drop in the bucket to how many people are on the earth, right? Think about it. There's a whole lot of people, human beings, walking the face of the earth. You hear twin flame connection out of very few. It's just that we're all connected in the same space that we hear a lot of it. Andrea says, if someone is draining us, if someone is draining you, holding on to a connection. Let me put my glasses on. If someone is draining you, it's holding on to a connection with its dysfunctional, not compatible with where you want to go. I kind of agree with that. I agree with that. If you're allowing them to drain you, you're holding on to the negative aspects of it and allowing yourself to be drained with it, allowing your energy to be drained. And it's real easy. You can just stop that. As Lee says, stop doing it. So interesting regarding the narc aspect. Did Lee feel the same way about you, that you were a narcissist? Yeah. I don't even have to ask him. Yeah, probably. I don't know. I maybe not. Maybe not, because we've talked about it a lot, but maybe not. Maybe I'm the type of person who gives and gives and gives and gives, and I won't receive very much, right? I'm not a good receiver. I'm a giver, and I've had to learn through my illness to receive some damn care, right? To receive some damn love, really. And it was hard for me because I'm learning. I learned how to be selfless, but I didn't learn how to be selfish, which we usually do when we're kids. We learn how to be selfish. But I learned how to be selfless to a fault where there was no selfish qualities in me. I put on, like, I was close to 400 pounds at one point in time. I didn't take care of myself properly. Proper hygiene. I was married for 13 years to someone who was abusing me physically, mentally, emotionally. And I just didn't take good care of myself. It was just one day out of the blue, after I had my daughter, she was only 4 weeks old, that I decided, you know what, this isn't it. First of all, it's not my big love. Second of all, why am I staying in a situation of being so selfless that I'm literally miserable? And I found some selfishness, and I felt it was being selfish at the time, but it really wasn't when I walked away from that marriage with 3 kids and a baby that was a month old. So maybe not. Maybe he helped bring me out of that selflessness a little bit more, because I needed to come out of that, because I found that I was giving, trying to prove, give, trying to prove myself over what? I don't know what that was, but I don't know. I'm gonna ask him tonight. I'll tell you guys next week. I'm gonna ask him. Straight gonna ask him. In my opinion, I think the narcissist label is too overused these days. Lynette, amen. Say it louder for the people in the back. We really need to stop with the labels and just be present. There is a difference between narcissist and ego. Thank you. I couldn't have said it better than that, and I thank you for that. I really think we overuse it and we label too many people. And once you're labeled, you're labeled. I mean, and I found that to be true when I labeled Lee. It took me a long time to come out of, that really wasn't being a narcissist. He's really trying to help. He just don't know how to do it correctly, right? Or do it the right way, or do it in a more gentle way. I had somebody email a while, gosh, it's years back talking about Lee and how narcissistic he is and how he knows everything. But it's just not that way when you're with him 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. My human side wants to be like, yeah, it was whatever, right? But I truly, to the core, feel that we as human beings label one another too much with the narcissistic label. And we tend to remove people out of our lives because of our opinion that they're a narcissist. And a lot of times we find that if we look, the narcissistic traits are in us when we're pointing our fingers like that. There's one pointed at you, one pointed up, and 3 pointed back at me, right? I use that a lot. I learned that in kindergarten. When you point your finger, there's 3 pointing back at you. It's so true. You're a narcissist. We can't stop being human. Our head and our heart go back and forth. It's a constant battle, isn't it? It just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. We can't stop it. It's the hamster wheel from hell. Good morning. I was just watching Lee on my other phone. I'm sorry. I'm joking. What did she say? Oh, man. My boyfriend has OCD. He takes such good care of his things with a passion. Drives me nuts. Cares more about his things than me. Oh, well. Look. If y'all saw Lee around this car, you'd get it. Feels the same. You don't rub me like that. Right? I'm dying over here. I think inability to be self-aware is what amplifies people's natural tendencies to have some narcissistic tendencies. I agree. That's why I feel phone getting shut off is allowing me to be selfish without distractions. Things don't do themselves, and this is so true. I think we look forward to what's going to happen, and there's a reason behind everything. I used to get so mad if traffic was detoured somewhere or if I was going to be late somewhere. My father told me one time before he passed, and I'll never forget it. I was learning to drive. I was 16 years old. And my dad didn't have much to do with that at all. But when I got my driver's license, I drove straight to the bar where he worked. He didn't work, where he drank. And I walked in, and I was 16 years old, but I may have looked a little older. Or they didn't care at the time. But where was I going with that? What's this say? Oh, he told me once that every time you're detoured, just know that the universe was taking you away from a distraction. It was taking you away from something that you could have been involved in. Just 2 more seconds and that would have been you. Just, if you would have went the way that you wanted to go, right? You know, perhaps there was something that was going to happen. So the universe has a way of guiding that. So I asked my dad, so what about the people who did get in a wreck? What about those people? So it avoided me, right? But what about the poor sap that got into the accident, right? Everything happens for a reason, Sherry. Even that accident, that person needed to learn a lesson. That person needed to know that they can't run the red light or so here I go with, what about the innocent people who didn't do anything but somebody hits them? And my dad always had an answer for everything. And I just didn't question him. I just knew that there's things that happen in life, evictions, your utilities being shut off. I'm telling you, when my electric got shut off, due to really no fault of my own, Although, you know, my ex-husband was working, and we just we didn't quite have the finances to take care of it at that time, and it just built up on us. But um, I found that when it got shut off, didn't get shut off again, right? Um, I made sure we found a way to handle that and to take care of it and to take action and get a hold of them before they get a hold of me, right? To call them and say, hey, I can't do this right now. And they're pretty easy about saying, yeah, well, you can wait a week. But I didn't want to, I think my pride got in the way back then. But yeah. I've put my phone down for 48 hours before, and man, was my house clean. Um, my house was so much cleaner in the 80s and the 90s. I'm telling you, I had way too much time on my hands. I wish it was like that again. I wish we didn't have these. I wish we didn't have these devices. I really do. Look, that's me watching me. I'm reading things, but I just wish we didn't have them. I wish we could go back to rotary phone or house phones and pay phones. I just do. I wish we could, but we can't, and that's a shame. Life was so much easier back then. Sherry, have you tried getting your hydration from melons? I eat a lot of melons, yeah. Yeah, and I'm actually, inside my ice right now is what is called liquid IV. I don't know if you guys have it, but I switch off a lot. I usually drink around a gallon of water a day. And so I get really burnt out on it. So then I drink a bunch of like liquid IV, things like that. And now I'm just kind of burnt out on the water, so I only fill it halfway up with water. And then we take when I say we, I mean me and Lee. He'll make my ice for me too. I just put it in it's kind of like a mini food processor, my little Ninja. And I make kind of snow out of it, and I just eat on it all the time. And it keeps me hydrated with the liquid IV in it. I have to stay hydrated because I have diabetes really bad. And it keeps my mouth dry all the time. And this cold, I'm telling you, this cold, it's about to wipe me out. And going back and forth to the hospital to visit the baby, I'm exhausted. But I can't go a day without seeing his little face. Yeah, I eat a lot of melons. I do eat a lot of melons. Got to take some time for yourself here and there, for sure. We need to learn about ourselves, put ourselves first to fill our buckets before we can give the best to others. 100%. I was giving. And there was nothing left for me. There was nothing left at the end of the day. I was literally showing up at family gatherings, misheveled, a hot mess, didn't care. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to start getting myself together before I get these dirty kids together. I'm going to do that. I'm going to feel better about me. And you know what? When I started getting myself together first, and then I started wiping their snotty noses and changing their dirty clothes, I felt better about me. And it went quicker. I got them together faster. And it was worth it. It was so worth it. And then I felt better, and then they felt better because we went like, just to get out the door. Hi, Ashwini. I had a session with Lee. I asked for a session with you. He said he would talk to you about a 30-minute session. Maybe he did. I do believe he did. Yeah, I'm sure he did. Let me consult with him about that, and let's do that. I'll get you an email sent. Do you believe there are stages into union with your twin? Yep, I do. Do I believe that any of them are put out there? No. I believe that people like to label the stages just like they like to label the stages of grief. I feel like when we're grieving, we all grieve separately, we all grieve alone, we all grieve our own way. People like to put, all the stages of grief are this. I get it. It makes sense, it makes sense, it makes sense. I do believe there are stages to this journey. I believe we've been through a lot of the stages in our journey. Are our stages the same as your stages? I don't think so. I don't think so. Everybody grieves differently. Everybody has a different twin flame journey just as well. So I believe there are stages. Of course I do. But I do not believe they should be labeled. Right? Yeah, there's all 7 signs of twin flame union. 7 signs of twin flame union. 111 signs of twin flame union. 22 signs of twin flame union. It's all out there. You can find it all. Are you going to go through all of them that are labeled? God, let's hope not. Let's hope not. Let's hope that I don't go through the same stages of grief as my mother did when she lost her father. I didn't. I lost my father. I went through a different grief process. Were there stages? Of course. There were stages. I was angry. I was sad. I was mad. All these things. And they're completely different than what my mother went through with her father. Right? What I went through, my grandfather committed suicide. So my mother, of course, went through guilt. She went through anger. She went through sadness. I didn't experience the guilt. I experienced the anger. I experienced different stages. I hope that helps. Can you please repeat what you just said? Uh-oh. I don't know what I just said, Ashwini. Uh-oh. About what? What was I? Oh. What was I don't remember what I was talking about. What? I know a lady who's been in love with a man for 15 years and she thinks he's her twin flame and they haven't spoken in 15 years. She sounds intelligent, but how could this be? Well, it's very possible. It's very possible. Look, the fact that she's held on for 15 years without any contact, that's the problem. Not that if he's her twin or not. A lot of times when we find this connection, it's so strong. It's so undeniable. And it feels so good. And it's so precious and it's so pure that we won't let go. And I don't know how many of you have watched our journey, but you'll know, and if you didn't, Lee and his ex-wife are not twins, obviously. But she was seriously in love and infatuated with him. And he took advantage of that in a lot of horrible ways. And he walked out on her, but what he didn't do was divorce her or break up with her. For 15 years, he kept, on occasion, would go back and sleep with her, tell her he loved her, take off. A week later, he'd show back up. This went on for 15 years. She held on for 15 years until he met me. And when he met me and he got all the way real and honest with her, she was able to be free to go find her connected one. And they got married and they're still together. The fact that she's waited for 15 years with no contact, it happens all too often, and I find that personally to be very disheartening, because I believe she's missed out a whole lot of love, a whole lot of connection, a whole lot of lessons that she needed to learn from other people. That really makes me sad. That really makes me sad that but it also makes me hopeful that she knows, or that she feels that they were so connected that she won't let go. But, yeah, it's time for her to find her life. Did you meet Lee before your husband? I need to remember it. I think from what Lee told you guys met before you met your husband. I did. And the husband I was talking about earlier, was way before Lee. I got married when I was 19. And we had our first son in 1990. We got married in 89. We had our first son in late 1990. He was stillborn. We had to bury him. And we have 3 beautiful girls together. I just saw him on Friday. He's an amazing man. He's a really good guy. You know, back then he just wasn't a perfect husband, and nobody's perfect husband. But he was abusive. I'm not gonna lie. But with Ron, I met Lee first, and then we went into a 2-year separation for about 6 months to a year. Here's the key to that. I never, ever, ever let go or gave up on the connection. Never. Never let go or gave up on the connection. Always keep that in mind. However, there was a point in time in that 2 years of separation where we had absolutely no contact that my standstiller was done standing still, right? Everything in me was telling me to move on, right? And I knew I had found my big love. I knew it was him, and I knew he wasn't right for me at the time. And I knew I wasn't right for him at the time. We went into separation. That all happened. I started dating. I met Ron. We got married. Before we got married, Lee and I come back into contact. However, we were just friends, bantering back and forth with another friend of ours and having conversations. My husband knew it was happening. I didn't hide anything. My marriage started falling apart on its own. We were only married for about 2 years. It started falling apart a year in. And that was really before Lee came back in. The universe was telling me it wasn't right. However, there was a child to be made, and we made him, and he's here, and he's awesome. So that's what that was about. And I love him, and I always will, but he just wasn't for me, and he wasn't my big love. And, yeah, so my marriage was falling apart before Lee came back into the picture. He was already moved out. Yeah. Let's see. We all have one, but the finding is the key. 40 years. Sherry, my connection to twin before the drugs seemed so much more intense. Connection with the husband has been Seemed like husband was forced and always guarded. Why? Because you don't have that spiritual connection like you did with the twin. And here's what happens. And I'm so glad you brought this up, Mama T, because it really, really, really is important to know this. Once we find this connection, what happens to us up here is nobody will ever be able to live up to that. And we put so much expectation on them. Well, you should know what I'm thinking. You should know what I'm thinking. You know how I am. Human beings, when you're in a relationship, don't understand that type of behavior. They don't understand that connection, right? So what we do is we put expectations on them, and they have absolutely no idea what connection is. I just heard my husband pull this car out of the driveway. Not only did I hear him fly to the stop sign, I heard him go down the main road. Intense fellowship is about to happen. I have a right mind to call him on the phone on the live, but I'm not gonna. Universe has him. One day he's going to get a dent in that car. That's why. You're not spiritually connected. He's not your twin. Don't fault him for that. That's a big thing. Don't fault him for that. Find the love that he has for you, and find the love that you have for him. Don't fault him for not being your twin. Just had a weird experience that internally I got a review of all the feelings before and during separation. I felt like my guide showed me this review and why. I love it when synchronicities happen like that, though. I associate twin flame union with enlightenment. I prayed for proof of the spiritual knowledge I had in 3D, and that's when I noticed strong, undeniable connection existing. Gotta say, that looked a lot like depression and mania. It's a lot. Girl, Oh, I almost lost y'all. No. Oh, I've lost y'all. Oh, here we go. All right. You have to allow yourself to be the space for love to do its thing, for sure. I've been blocked by my twin for the 186th time now. As soon as I share how I feel or want to take, he flips out and bails. No contact for a month now. Yeah, he'll be back. So interesting, selfless, and selfish. So interesting. I've gained 150 pounds since I first heard your first videos back in 2009. It's hell. Anyway. What practices do you stay in your heart, Sherry? Well, I'm a medium, and I practice that. Been practicing a lot here more lately. I practice a lot of meditation. I have a lot of beliefs that are outside the box, and I do meditate. I do walking meditations. I do setting meditations. I connect with spirit on so many different levels. I connect with my spirit guides through pendulums, through cards, through conversations. I allow spirit mostly to guide me through my daily activity. Even if I'm cooking dinner, I try to make it a spiritual practice. Even if I'm vacuuming the floor, I try to make it a spiritual practice. I'll do a mantra when I'm vacuuming. I do a lot of clearing. I do a lot of personal work. I have a wide belief when it comes to like past lives or Akashic records, all that stuff, that I really don't want to bog my human brain down with. So I'm very careful what I step into, what I want to step into. I believe we allow in what we allow in, and we don't allow in what we don't allow in. And sometimes I allow junk in. Sometimes I eat a candy bar. Sometimes I have some quinoa, right? I try to find where the imbalance is with me, and I look for the imbalance in me, and I look for the imbalance in the we. And when I say the we, I mean Lee and I and our union. I try to stay on top of the balance in the we. And now that I have more than the I to meditate with, because I'm very in tune with myself and my feelings. They don't always come out correctly. As a matter of fact, I said some things on Friday night, to my daughter that I probably shouldn't have said, and I felt bad. And Lee looked at me like I was an insane person. And he didn't say anything, but he gave me the space to work that out in me, and then he gave me opinion the next morning, but it was already worked out in me, so it didn't matter. Yeah, there's a lot of, if you lived in my home, you would understand that some kids would come in here and be like, what's wrong with your mom? Well, other people would be like, why is this house so peaceful and calm? It's just the energy we have here, that we allow love to just flourish here. We do. We come each year to drop the labels as we grow in a sense spiritually. Very, very true. That's why you have to use your full hand instead of just one finger. True. 1, 2, 3. Get it. Hi, Maria. Hi, Sherry. Just a quick call. Hi, Rosie. Being selfish is natural because it's about survival. Some people have deep childhood stuff making them rely on total selfishness. We're attracted to their vulnerability. So we end up with someone with dysfunction. We want to help. We want to fix. We want to fix people. You know what's interesting? People don't need fixed. You don't need fixed. People don't need fixed. People aren't broken. Situations are broken. Relationships are broken. People aren't broken. Unless it's physically. Sometimes you can get a broken back, a broken head, a broken hand, a broken foot. But people, human beings, we're not broken. We don't need fixed. You need to put some things into healing. They always stay there. Do I feel like I need fixed because I'm been sexually abused, physically abused? No. I just needed to put some stuff into healing. They're still there. Hey Sherry, had a question. Can sexual desire die in a twin flame relationship due to hurt and disappointment in the connection? Yes. However, we've got to resolve the hurt and disappointment in the connection so that the sexual activity can regain its strength is a good word. Of course, you know what I mean? It's sex is a very human it's a very human act, right? Intimacy is not. We've learned the art of conforming sexual acts and intimacy into one fluid act. And it's beautiful. And it's amazing. And once you get there, you don't want to let it go and you don't want to stop. Do things get in the way? Sickness? Who wants to have sex with somebody who's hacking all the time? Maybe there's, if somebody's in pain and hurting, there's a lot of things that will hinder the sexual relationship. Time, human beings, time. But if there's hurt and disappointment let me rephrase. I don't want to say hurt and disappointment in the connection, because the connection holds no hurt or disappointment. It's the relationship that holds hurt and disappointment. Make sure you know the difference in that. The relationship part holds the hurt and disappointment. That'll stop physical connection, right? But in the connection, the spiritual connection, there's no hurt and disappointment. There's only unconditional love. You can't not jump on that. There's the garage door. He must have made it to Indianapolis and back in that short amount of time. He has a session, so I need to hurry. I do needed to hear what you were saying today. This is nuts. I'm sitting in my car and just got sight of your live unreal. I'm so glad you're here, Sarah. Hi, Sharon. Sherry, do you interpret dreams for twins? Yes, I've done that a lot. I do that a lot, actually. Dreams are big with me. I've studied dreams and dream interpretation for years. When I was in high school, man, did I get in a lot of trouble. Whoa, I got in a lot of trouble for really reading things that dream interpretation books and spiritual books when I was supposed to be doing my homework. And I would put my textbook in front of the book, so it looked like I was reading my textbook, but I was reading the other book. Man, I did a lot of study on dreams. And I even went so far as to go get psychological handbooks, all kinds of books. I just wanted to dig into it, but now I let spirit guide me, and it's so much easier, and I didn't need all that knowledge. But hey, I got it. Yeah, but I do that. Dream interpretations for twins especially, for sure. And in general. Hi, Preet. Lee is not pounding, but he's slightly packing on the door. So I'm going to have to go. And there's so many things that I didn't get to again. Now, keep in mind it takes like 24 hours for the chat to get caught up. So I'll finish answering like I did on the other one. Also, I've done like 4 or 5 readings for some of you. And I'm booking I had a session, and I had a session tomorrow, but she rescheduled, so I'm open. Tomorrow evening I can do some readings. Wednesday I have open for a couple of readings or a session or two, and but if you're interested in doing a session with me, again, please email us. You can use any of the emails. I try to keep it info@relationshipreinvented.com. That way I can kind of separate them. But if you've got our regular email too, which is relationshipreinvent@gmail.com. But if you want to get me personally, if you email info@relationshipreinvented. FaceTime video. My daughter-in-law. info@relationshipreinvented.com. info@relationshipreinvented.com. And I'll answer that personally. I'm checking it every day now. So I was not in the habit of checking it every day. I promise I'll check it every day. So if you email now, I may be able to get you in this week. So that's a good thing. Root camps with me, sexual abuse root camps, I'm doing those. I believe Lee's just went live and he's running his own special. And we're doing a special together. If you would like a Lee and Sherry Power, I forget what he's called, Lee and Sherry Power Root Camp. I think he's doing 5 sessions for $777. And I'm not 100% sure on that, but email me and we'll get it worked out. It's really not her. It's probably the grandkids trying to call. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for watching. I love all you guys. I hate getting out of here. It drives me nuts because I love to talk. But thank you for watching, and thank you for believing in us. And I would love to get to your emails. So go ahead and shoot me an email. Let's get you on the schedule. If you want a medium reading, if you want a dream interpretation, if you want a root camp session, if you just want a one-on-one twin flame session with Sherry only, let's get down and dirty. If you want a one-on-one self-help session with Sherry, I've been doing those a lot lately. What can I do to improve me? Improve me. What can I do to improve me? Let's work on improving you, right? Let's work on knocking out some bad behaviors and bringing in great behaviors and making ourselves feel good and bringing in some empowerment and some enlightenment into your life. I love y'all. Thank you for watching. And we will see y'all next week. If I can, we'll see y'all next week if I can get out of here in the first place. We might just keep on going until next week.